I highly recommend. Okay, Headcrab spawning at the North Pole. This is the final hit. This is the whole deal. This is for the
seeding
first winner seeding capability. Obviously, these guys are the shared winners of this, but we need to have something to help the seeding rounds in the actual tournament next. And you can see that we have the South Pole. If you're just joining in, this is the DoSiDo tournament, and we have interesting map here where we have kind of a large north base, a large south base, 2 lanes, an east lane with an expansion off of it, and a west lane with another expansion off of it over here. And arguably you can have a center lane be perfect for bringing an air force across. And we have often seen that occur.
What you could always do is do a sort of reverse center lane across the massive lava field and just go straight into the back of the base as well, which I have actually seen pelican drops in previous games on this map.
I would love to see a pelican drop.
It was with lots of Aventale's Infernos, and it took out about 7 P-gens. It was interesting.
Can you imagine a Vanguard Pelican drop with their 4,000 damage per second Uber cannons?
Oh, blimey. I wouldn't even bother countering it. I just see it coming and just go, okay, GG.
Yeah, good job. Figured me out. The scouts pass by each other here on the west and give each other like a big high five. Like, woohoo! Another one coming up here.
Hey, mate, this is the last time I'll see you in these parts this weekend.
That's right. And look at the plan for the metal extractors by Andreas. He's just like, I would like, all of them. Okay, great, perfect. We'll just do that.
And of course, the skitter sits there from Headcrab rather than going into the base and seeing what his build is, because I think he probably has a pretty rigid build queue, and I think Headcrab sort of realizes that it's sort of very plastic and rather than flexible. So he's only sitting there with the skitter to see the expansions and when he can get off the bomber harass.
Well, he does have another skitter on the other side of Andreas' base that kind of sees everything. Let's take a look there. Yep, he sees it all. Meanwhile, Andreas, unaware of that skitter, so that's pretty cool. And up in the north, something similar is happening here where Headcrab doesn't actually see the skitters that kind of surround his base as well. So these guys are using the elite strats here in the DoSiDo tournament.
Tournament, not tournament. Tournament.
Tournament.
Tournament.
So early Bumblebee coming out of the base of Andreas actually being queued up now, almost completed, and quite a bit later to have the air factory getting cranked out here, and sure enough, right away builds a hummingbird to counter that. So he's got some anti-air up, and I don't know if he's got it set up to patrol, but he's heading across, and the bomber actually goes around to the east side, so
just
he's going to miss
the
that.
Fabricators. Is he going to get all the bombs? Yes, he is! 2
He gets all the bombs and kills all 3 units.
Oh,
I gotta see that again. Let's go for the instant replay. 2 fabricators and a spinner. Bomber comes in, does an attack move right on it, drapes across all of it, and kablooey gets them all. Nice run by that bomber. That was like a hero. And now he's got a hummingbird outside the base. Okay.
I think we're about to see the end of this skitter in the back of Andreas' base. Actually, there it goes. Gets shot down by that Aventale. What do you think about this? 3 fabricators just spamming out P-gens in a row along the back of the base while the commander is free to build factories. Do you reckon that's sufficient?
I think it's fine because commander builds at 30 per second, and 3 fabricators also build at 30 per second, so it's not a big deal. The only downside is that you're concentrating 3 fabricators there, and if you do get bombed, like, it's probably pretty easy to just like take them all out at once. Whereas if they were like doing individual tasks, they you have to do more runs. But it does allow your commander to help out. I think he's assisting this. Well, he's not assisting. He's actually not doing anything. So for that reason, I don't like it at all. But I thought he was assisting the bot factory in production.
Yeah, they seem to. Sometimes the commander will just assist the factory rather than continue with his build queue. I'm not sure why that is.
So looking over at the army tab, perfectly even mobile army count of 59 each. Sorry, total count being 59 each. 12 mobile for Headcrab, 14 for Andreas, 10 fabricators to 9, so and 6 fabricators to 5. So very close overall in the army size, and pretty similar in the size of the metal production, where Andreas is a bit ahead, but floating a lot of it, so he's secretly behind.
I was just looking at Headcrab's base there, and Andreas, as Headcrab started building these things slightly closer to his skitters, moved them away so that he's still on the border of his base, but has seen the factories that go up. So just in case he is on the Bumblebee warpath yet again, you can see all of those fabricators bunched up, and also indeed the little laser towers as well.
Yep, like if you flip back and forth between total view and Andreas view, you can see that he's actually got a lot of the base mapped out. There's a factory, a vehicle factory in the middle that he's missed, but otherwise, as you point out, doing a great job of just kind of moving his skitters back on a regular basis. Bumblebee comes out to take out one of them, and does so, and sees the other one, and I think he's doomed.
Andreas is also expanding over to the west side mini expansion as well, with a little bot fabber there, just claiming all the mechs. And I'm not sure about simultaneous east side. Nope, that's Headcrab's maintained the choke at that point.
Yeah, I think that's good to do that, and a bunch of, you can see that there are these 4 little dots. They all represent rally points for various factories coming forward, and on the east side you can see that there's a bit of a RV coming out here, and they're getting wiped out because they were kind of trickling in, and the chase is on really over there. Now, a set of units over on the west side coming into the base of Headcrab, but he's got some bombers. He's happy to apply them to the task of killing those Aventails. They did actually get shot off and managed to take out a fabricator and a spinner, so that actually helped make up for the whole cost of that army quite a bit. Looking at the economies of the two players, we're still about 20 metal ahead for Headcrab, but he's floating 20 to 40, so again, very even overall.
Indeedly so. It's not quite moving up to T2 yet in either base. By T2, I mean advanced, of course.
Yeah, of course. Happens to everybody.
I'm sorry.
I do the same thing, man. Try not to.
We do actually see a couple of air fabricators sitting idle. In fact, there it is queued up just as I say that. So there goes the T2 air factory inside Andreas's base. So the Hornet strat is once again going to prevail, or will it? Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, very interesting. They're very slow-moving units, so it can be difficult. Actually, very interesting on the west side of Andreas's base. He is working on a walled-in defense, and all his did lose those fabricators, so that may make it a little bit more difficult. But and all of his units are actually set to queue up and land or rally up outside the walls, which is a little bit silly. But he is moving back now, and I think that's he may get that set up again. That'll be very interesting. Now he's got tons of fabrication, 1, 2, 3, many fabricators working on that advanced air factory. And let's see what's going up here in the north. Them Yankees are not building any advanced.
They're not building advanced, nor are they building enough anti-air. You would have thought that he might have... Goodness me. Thwart? You might have thought that after last game he would have learnt and put up a few more hummingbirds. But it still seems relatively barren with regards to the Air Force anti-air.
I don't think it's so bad. I think that he has built a fair number of hummingbirds and then sent them in to scout and to pick off the, kind of thin out the hummingbirds of Andreas. Like, Andreas has a few enough hummingbirds that would be like, might be a little reluctant to just bring out the Hornets he builds without a greater number of hummingbirds to protect them, right?
I mean, even in the central lane now, we actually see Headcrab getting up AA, so maybe he has learnt from the previous game, although that does still leave wide avenues past those statics. But the Pelters, I don't think they will have range, I'm afraid. Maybe of that one singular mechs, but I don't think much beyond that.
On the west side, the expansion, Headcrab has just gone in to like take it over, and he's like, "Whoops,
no room at this
I think I'm a little late for this party." So Andreas sees the invasion and decides, "I think I will go ahead and build a tower like right now." And then a huge conflict right at the wall on the west side, and the tower is doing some work. The Pelter got abandoned, or the unit got killed that was building it, and he's just not getting in there with those infernos. Too much of a concentrated firepower here, and you can see how the walls are really helping Andreas win with actually a smaller force. He's done a great job there, and now he's going to bring his Aventels forward to kind of clean up this army, and that was a huge loss for Headcrab, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Headcrab really needs to bolster, maybe even move to T2 vehicles.
That's easy for you to say. Pelters are actually firing over that gap. I didn't even let you finish. Are actually firing over that gap right now, and we see a Hornet group, 3 Hornets and a bunch of a bunch of the Hummingbirds heading up to fight. Expansion was being built by Headcrab, like tried to proxy Andreas's west side, but now the Hornets are actually like a couple of them go down. Quite a bit of anti-air there. They could have stayed out of range. Those they are designed to have longer range. That missile will go in and finish that off, but quite a bit of air force by Headcrab after all. I guess he was not interested in seeing a repeat of last time. In the back of the base of Headcrab, you can see an orbital factory or orbital launchery being built. Orbital launchers are nice for building sniping, or leading to sniping SXX. Physics, as we like to say, because it's way easier to say than SXX.
Problem with that is, given that there are already Hornets on the field, it's going to take a while, because not only do you have to build the launcher, you have to build the fabricator, you then have to build the orbital factory, and then the orbital laser. It's going to take a while, given that there's already a significant Hornet presence on this
but
planet.
what if you just put a couple anchors over each of the lanes?
That's true as well. He could do that.
So, interesting to see what he does do, in fact. Strong force by Headcrab has decided he's had enough of this expansion over here on the west side.
Advanced radar.
With no walls in front of it, that tower is actually going to go down pretty quickly. And there it is, doomed. And so this is going to take a chunk out of the economy of Andreas, who is actually 185 to Headcrab's 318, quite a bit behind, because Headcrab has the east side expansion, actually quickly just grabbed it all up there, and that is going to put him in a good spot. Now, I am going to check on the Hornet status over here. Andreas is really...
Too much AA!
He's got so many fighters. Really just is cleaning up on the attempts by Andreas. He really needs to bring out some more of his own
What he has done is he's built up an advanced radar, actually, in the middle of his base. Does that see orbital units?
It does.
Yes, okay. So
it does, and in fact, if we go to the Andreas cam, we can see that he is out of power. And we cannot see how much radar range he has.
He's only just moment here.
Any second. There we go. And sure enough, it does see pretty much the whole planet. We can see everything in the base, and it becomes dot wars. And if we zoom down here to this wall, quite a huge force here coming in by Headcrab. His stronger economy is really doing the work now. And I think he's going to be able to get in here and take out these walls.
Easily. That's an easily overpowering offensive there. The Hornets are disappeared because the AA just came in and swept them out, with extreme prejudice. And there isn't enough ground force for Andreas to maintain a defensive on both fronts here. So unless he manages to pull something out of the bag, he's going to end up with a couple of dents in his base.
Yeah, I think this is beginning of the end. Really good job by Headcrab. Really just macroing hard and then using that advantage, and did not let the anti-air. You can see that with a big force like this, the buildings do go down fairly rapidly. It just takes a little bit more time, which is kind of what we wanted.
Yeah. I mean, before they took maybe what 4 or 5 hits.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. I'm kind of. It was just like we had to think of it, and then it was obvious what we had to do. And they're going to get back there to that advanced air factory, which really, with all that build power, he could have cranked out so much more air. Like Hornets are good accompaniment to an army as opposed to primary part of an army.
I mean, especially after seeing all of the AA Headcrab was producing, it would have been more intelligent to transition. And indeed, there's the GG called by AndreasG.
Yep, and that's probably going to conclude the DoSiDo tournament.
Qualifier.
Thank you very much. The final dance is yet to come.
Indeed, it almost sounds slightly medieval when you put it like the final dance.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Like, you know, the sort of traditional sort of, I will dance with you.
He's like fighting on to the very end here, trying to uber cannon them. And Inferno gets on them.
A valiant attempt from this commander.
Right.
But the Inferno's just sort of sitting there, just sweeping in. Getting off damage, but only going to take a couple more shots from the tanks there. And indeed, pop.
They might be getting distracted by those. There we go. All right. And good game. Well done. Next week's the Grand Dance, so tune in then. And we've got the King of the Planet tomorrow. That's Brad Nicholson, our own community manager at Uber Entertainment, and my colleague will be taking on Matisse in an epic battle in which Matisse is expected to roll right over him with reckless abandon. However, I'm sure many strong words will be said and much entertainment will be had because Brad's actually like a pretty fun guy to hang out around. So tune in to that tomorrow. If you look at my stream chat, you can see the link to the tournament. It's going to be Exodus Esports, or you can just go to our forums, and I'm sure somebody will bump that thread and make sure it pops up at the top for you. So check that out, and we will see you next time.